You're listening to 98.5 WNUW LP Aston. Today I'm Brendan Bosky.
I'm Renzo Garone.
And we're bringing you ChampTalk. All football, all talk. We're doing all different categories, fantasy, betting, whatever you can name.
Oh, yeah.
Today we got some different categories. We got just talking about free agency and the recent additions and subtractions from teams.
I like that.
We got top 5, bottom 5 free agency signings, and we got free agency winners and losers for the fantasy side.
I love fantasy.
What do you think, Renzo? What do you think for the day so far?
I think we got a good list of topics here. I personally love fantasy football. I live for fantasy football. I suck at fantasy football, but if you're good at it, that's probably not a good sign. So that's just how I look at it.
If you're good at it, you're lucky at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. You did not know what you were doing. You just got super lucky.
Fantasy football, I mean, for us, it's just whoever's the best at getting lucky.
That random 6th-round pick that drops 25 points a week.
But, we're good at getting lucky here. That's a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's just start the day off by talking over some recent notable signings and notable
let's do it.
Trades of free agency. What do you got on deck first, rounds?
Honestly, I want to talk about. Do you want to start with the AFC or NFC first?
Let's go NFC because I got a team in mind.
Okay. I want to talk about the Commanders real quick.
You got the Commanders? Okay, we got to go Chicago Bears next.
Okay. Well, I want to start with the Commanders because I think the Commanders think that they're in like maybe 2016, 2015, signing Zach Ertz, Austin Eckler, Mariota, Wagner. I mean, all these guys, maybe not Mariota, but Ertz, Eckler, and Wagner. I mean, they all were ballers. Eckler is still relevant. Wagner is still – they're all getting old.
I still think Ertz got more left in him. I think he's still got more left in the tank.
I think so too, but, I mean, how much left is my point? Like, are they aiming to win the Super Bowl this year, or are they aiming to win for the next couple of years? Like, they're not going to last, I feel.
I mean, at least they went out, got their quarterback of at least start this year.
Yeah.
When they traded Howell, I mean, they're going to pick up a guy number 2.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's so many quarterbacks in this draft.
It really comes down to they spent money, but they got their guys that they wanted.
Yeah, didn't they have like the most cap space or something?
Yeah, they did have the most cap space. And you can tell they wanted to use it. They weren't playing around with it.
Absolutely. And then they used it on Ertz, Eckler, Wagner. I mean, it's still a good team. Still to compete in the NFC East, you have to be with the Eagles and the Cowboys. I mean, both talented teams. Giants, maybe not so much, but to compete with them, I mean, you need veteran players like that. So listen, I think they did pretty well in the free agency, but that's just one of the teams that I thought was a little wild.
What I'll add to that is I think they had one of the better signings of free agency in Frankie Louvu,
really?
Panthers linebacker, coming off a great year last year. Really good. Panthers, as bad as they were last year, had a great defense. I mean, how many games where they lose by only 10 or less because their defense just held them in that game? That was a big part of because of Frankie Louvu.
Yeah,
but
I get that.
They're losing out on him now, so I mean, they brought in some guys. They brought in some playmakers. They needed more playmakers, and what I really think they're doing with signing some guards, some offensive talent, is they're just trying their best to get ready for the quarterback of the future they're bringing in. Next team I want to talk about, 100%. I think they had the best free agency, not in terms of maybe who they, how much money they spent, but in terms of who they got, the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you there. 100%.
I mean, you go out, trade Fields. I think they could have got more for Fields, but I keep seeing they took it because they wanted to put Fields in a spot where Yadch will go to succeed, which most of the time with Chicago and that coaching staff is not going to be there. So, I mean, they're going to go out, get Caleb Williams, who's by far the best quarterback in the draft.
He's just phenomenal.
And they set him up right. Most of the time you get a quarterback like Bryce Young who goes into an offense, no offensive line, no receivers. I mean, he had Thielen, that's about it. And Miles Sanders, who I think's trash, personally.
I think so, too. I'm on you.
But most 100%. Eagles fans will be up my butt about saying he's great. But you go out, you get him a good – I think DeAndre Swift's probably the most underrated running back in the league in terms of production over the last couple of years.
Very talented. Very, very talented.
And then you also go get I think they got 2 offensive linemen, maybe just one. But then they go out and get Keenan Allen, stud.
Baller. Yep, absolutely.
Have DJ Moore there, stud. And then they also they brought in Gerald Everett, another guy who he's going to be the tight end too, but you're literally setting up one of the best tight end tandems in the league.
Yeah, I love Cole Kmet, and I love Everett there at the 2. I think Everett, he's not your main guy, but he's there. He's there. He's going to help you out. He's a solid pass. He could catch the ball. He could get you a couple yards. I do think he's a good, almost like a safety to look out for in case everything else is closed. You kind of just hit Everett on the slant or whatever it is. I think he's going to be good for Caleb if they draft Caleb.
Yeah, if you don't draft Caleb, yeah, I mean, you're talking about the most bearish thing to do.
It's got to be Caleb. It's got to be.
I mean, the guy, you can say whatever you want about his personality. I just saw the other day somebody was talking about it. Colin Cowherd, I mean, that guy has some wild takes, but
yeah.
He was saying this is the first like NIL superstar.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna get him to do everything perfect, and he already has some NFL money, but he is talented. I've not seen a guy throw a ball on the run that well in college.
Yeah, just the way he works the pocket is just insane.
I hate comparing guys to Mahomes, but he has that mentality like Mahomes. He's not Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Absolutely
Nobody
not.
is Mahomes.
Yeah.
But he has the mentality where he's going to go out and he's not looking to run, but when he needs to, he'll make it happen. So
Absolutely.
I think that, along with bringing back Jalen Johnson and bringing back their defensive guys, they're going to be a team to watch out for this year.
Also signing Kevin Byard, too.
Yeah.
Both of those guys. Kevin Byard and Swift come from the Eagles. Everett and Keenan Allen both coming from the Chargers. I think all 4 of those additions, plus whoever else they added, they're on a very good track. I mean, Caleb Williams is going to come into this probably one of the most gifted offenses for a rookie quarterback to come into. And,
yeah.
I mean, you really couldn't ask for a better receiving core, running back, tight ends. He's got it all.
Yeah. So next team. This is, by no means am I saying this is the best class. I love what the Vikings did this offseason.
Really?
Love what the Vikings did. That might be a hot take.
A little bit.
But
a little bit.
You go and look at what they did. Sam Darnold. Guy's 27.
Is he really?
Do you think he was 27?
No.
How old did you think he was?
Like, probably in his 30s at least.
This is seventh year in the league.
When was he drafted?
2018, I think. I don't know. Look that up.
Yeah,
but I'll keep talking on this. The Vikings had easily one of the best classes with the money they had. Bring in Jonathan Greenard. They swapped him out with DeAndre Hunter. I mean, Hunter's a big loss, but Greenard's a very talented player who's good to do about the same thing for less money. Mm-hmm. They also went and brought in more defensive guys. Blake Cashman, Van Ginkel. I think Van Ginkel is one of the best linebackers available. I thought he was a stud on the Dolphins. I thought he's one of the best hybrid guys out there. Really, he's got to be perfect for the Brian Flores defense.
Yeah, I like that.
And then on top of that, as I said, Sam Darnold. Then you go get Aaron Jones. Their run game was atrocious last year. I think they won more games without Kirk Cousins than they did. And Sam Darnold is easily better. I mean, you look at his flashes in Carolina, and now he goes to the 49ers for a year, gets to actually sit and learn. So as I was saying about his age, right? 27.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers did not get his first start in the league till he was 27.
Really? Because he was drafted in 2018, 3rd overall by the Jets.
Yeah. When?
2018.
2018.
Yeah.
I was right.
Yeah.
Nice. But he's finally got time to sit back there, and now he actually has some guys. He went to the Jets and then the Jaguars. What do you want from the guy?
Yeah, I get that. Do you not think that the Vikings might trade up and take a rookie and this
They will.
talented? I think so.
They will.
I think so. They've got to.
They have 2 picks, 2 firsts, right?
Do they?
Yeah. I think they just trade up with Houston. They should have the
Oh, that's right. I forgot that.
the 11 and the 21, I think. But no, they will trade up. But
They have to.
I am such a firm believer in not starting a rookie QB right away unless the situation and the player are perfect.
Yeah, I don't love it. Outside of like the Caleb Williams situation, like CJ Stroud was a miracle. Like
Yeah.
that guy was just a baller. That's 1 in a million. The
Yeah.
chances of that happening are slim to none. We saw it with Bryce Young. It's just not a great start.
I think the best 2 examples in the league right now, you got Mahomes, who took a year.
Mm-hmm.
He was not the best. Like, he was very very, very rough around the edges, we'll say, in college.
Yeah.
He had all the arm talent, but
Yeah.
very rough.
Mm-hmm.
And then you give him a year, let him learn behind a confident quarterback, confident OC, and then he goes out there and he balls out. Same thing with Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love's a great example.
He's so underrated. I love him.
Yeah, one of the most underrated quarterbacks, I think. And then Aaron Rodgers, same time. Just bring back that example. So I think giving guys time will do justice.
I think the same thing with Joe Burrow too. I mean, I know didn't he get injured his first year?
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
Top first 4 games or something? Yeah.
Something like that. But I mean, he still didn't play. Like, they didn't have a great season for the games that he was in.
Oh,
and the
yeah.
next year, the year after, within the next 2 years, they were in the Super Bowl. Like, that's kind of absurd.
I think, you look at this last QB draft, right? Or 2 ago. The 2022 regarded as one of the biggest bust drafts of all time. Kenny Pickett, honestly, should have been a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have played till his 4th year.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Willis, same thing, 4th year. Ritter, 4th year. Coral, 4th year at
Forgot
best.
about him. I'm not gonna lie. About him.
Zappy's a backup, lifelong. As a Patriots fan, he's a lifelong backup.
He's not starting ever.
But all those guys are guys who should have waited time. Okay, we need to move on. What's the next team you got?
Personally, probably one of the best teams to dominate this offseason was the Texans.
Yes, I had the Texans.
The Texans. Danielle Hunter, Joe Mixon, plus everyone else they brought in. Azeez Al-Shaair, and linebacker. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I mean.
No, I think you got it. You got it. Yeah.
Al-Shaair.
I think
sounds pretty good.
The biggest problem I really like the Texans offseason, especially you had the quarterback, you had the money, you're going all in now. I don't think they did enough to make the team drastically different from last year. I think that's the only problem with their offseason. But at the same time, I think Joe Mixon will be great this year.
I don't know if you need to make it drastically different though, because they made it far on what they had, which was very little.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to change the team as a whole. I think you just need to start plugging holes. And I think that's exactly what they did. They fixed the running back.
I love the Hunter.
Yeah, I love
the Hunter signing. I love the Mixon signing.
Because him and Will Anderson Jr. are going to go crazy on that D-line.
I agree.
That duo is going to be phenomenal. And they're just going to be terrorizing quarterbacks, both of them. Because they're both just amazing.
Oh, yeah, on opposite ends.
Yeah, having that duo is a blessing. Plus, now they have Joe Mixon in the backfield, who Singletary and Dameon Pierce last year were not terrible, but not phenomenal.
But you look at what Singletary did on that team, and then you realize, Mixon's a 5 times better running back.
Exactly.
Oh my God, free Joe Mixon, man! Thank God.
Yeah, I know.
Since he was horrible with using him. I agree. I think
he's going to. I think he has potential to be like top 5, top 7 back. At Houston, because they just love it.
Oh yeah, I agree. And then one of the ones I really want to talk about, I feel like it's underrated because the amount of moves they made didn't jump off the paper, but the Kansas City Chiefs.
I knew you were gonna say the Chiefs.
I know I switched divisions. Oh wait, no, Texans AFC too.
We're still AFC.
Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I'm not a Chiefs fan per se.
No, neither am I.
But I'm a Mahomes fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
They only brought what? They brought in what?
Marquise Brown. That's the biggest name I know that they brought in.
They brought in 4 guys. Yeah. And one of them's a punter.
Well, I mean, how many moves do you need to make after winning the Super Bowl? Like,
how many guys did they lose? That's the thing. They brought back, they locked in their best player, or their best defensive player for 5 years.
Yeah, that was a huge
They brought
deal.
in Marquise Brown on possibly the biggest steal of the entire offseason.
I saw that.
Not Deion Bush, wrong name. And then L'Jarius Sneed. I know they're talking about trading him, whatever. Bring him back. They brought back their main guys. And you don't have Butterfingers on your team anymore. MVS is addition by subtraction.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I really do love Marquise Brown. They needed that wide receiver 1. They've been looking for it for a while now. And I feel like they haven't really gone out and tried to get it because they have Travis Kelce there. I mean, he's basically like amazing.
Yeah.
like I understand why they haven't needed that all-star studded wide receiver, but now they finally have Marquise Brown, who isn't the best in the league, but he's probably like top 12, 15 in that range. He's probably somewhere in that area. Plus, with probably the best quarterback throwing you the ball, he's going to look even better.
You finally got 3 weapons on a team.
Absolutely.
You went from the beginning of last season, 1, Travis Kelce, and people are calling him old and washed halfway through the year.
Yeah.
Absurd.
Yeah, that's just...
And then you go all of a sudden last offseason with 1 to this offseason with 3. You got Brown. I think Rice looks amazing.
Yeah, he looked really good.
I'm torn about Rice because I got a league with my friend at home, and he traded Rice.
No, I
like
Rice.
Team together. I was
Rice.
torn. And you got Kels still.
Who's the running back? Pacheco still?
Pacheco.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And then they'll probably bring back McKinnon or somebody who's just, hey, I want a Super Bowl. I'll hop over.
Yeah, no, I love Pacheco. He runs so hard. Like, he looks like he digs into the ground with each step, and he's just hustling. He takes the ball head down. He is going to the house every time.
One of my favorite people to watch.
Just the way he runs.
Mad.
Just the way he runs. It's phenomenal. I love watching
He
him.
runs like he has to run through a brick wall every time he runs. And it's the funniest thing. He's on the ground, and he just keeps pumping those legs. Okay, I think we got to do justice to the fans of the area.
Philly, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hate to admit it, they had a great offseason.
I mean, phenomenal.
With the money they had,
especially
they had a good amount of money.
Yeah, especially when you have Howie Roseman working it. I mean, come on. I mean, what do you think was going to happen? Saquon Barkley, Bryce Huff, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Devin White. Pickett's like a good backup. I'll take it.
I mean, finally somebody just pays a running back.
Yeah.
If your running back's catching the ball every play, if your running back's that guy, he's different. There's no reason why you shouldn't be paying him like the trash wide receivers are handing out money to.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
And plus, like, we signed Swift for 1 year last year. We had
Swift was great.
Yeah, Swift was great. I love Swift. I'm not trashing him, but he was only on a 1 year. We signed Rashad Penny for a 1 year. All these 1 years. We finally give Saquon a 3 year. We actually pay the guy, and we know he's going to be a baller.
And C.J. Gardner-Johnson, man, he can play.
Absolutely.
He's a great add back.
He's got that heart. Like, he's got, like, a lot of heart. You could tell when he plays, like, he's winning no matter what. Like, he's putting everything he has out there on the field, and that's what Philly needs back there.
I love when Philly fans get mad at him. They got mad at him when he left last year. Now they're like, wait, did he even say anything?
Yeah, I've seen so many GoFundMe's to buy him a new car for the car that they stole from him last year. But
nah,
I've seen
dude,
so many.
Dude, he makes millions. Buy yourself a car.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
But, I mean, the Philly fans, they just want to give back and make sure there's a truce going on, that we're all on the same page. I think, but I do think C.J. Gardner-Johnson, bringing him back was a huge move. Him and Blankenship, I think they're going to be a sick duo, because Blankenship was filthy last year. He also is a guy with a lot of heart. And then bringing in Devin White on a 1 year, I think, right? Or is it
White?
Yeah, Devin White, the linebacker. I think they're on a 1 year.
Did they get? I didn't even miss that.
Regardless, bringing him in, another phenomenal linebacker, which is what Philly needed. I think they were lacking in the linebacker department.
Oh, they did get Devin White on 1 year. I missed that.
Yeah.
He can play.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys where he was always a good athlete. Good like he had the potential as high as the world, but he just had to do it.
He's only 26.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that young, to be honest. I thought he was closer to 30. But
yeah. Hopefully it's a clean slate and he can keep pushing through it.
Hopefully him and Nakobe Dean could do something cool, because I love Nakobe Dean. I like him too. And adding Bryce Huff there as well is going to be lethal, I think.
Then I think next I'm just going to do these two quick. I think Steelers and Jets both had good off seasons.
I like the Jets.
I think the Steelers they went and got a win-win trade with Deontay Johnson. I mean, the guy just didn't work out there.
Mm-hmm.
He's
got so much talent.
He's like Jacoby Myers with the Patriots.
Yeah.
Great talent, never going to catch touchdown.
Exactly. I feel the same way.
And then getting Russell Wilson on that deal, getting Justin Fields for basically dirt. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a Justin Fields fan, but for a six,
I do like him.
Who cares?
I like Fields.
You can't. Yeah. that's a perfect way.
Is that how you feel about him? Yeah,
that's
I get
the best
it.
way to describe
I like him more than what you just said, but I think because isn't it like a 6th rounder, and then if he plays 51% of the snaps,
and he's not playing 51%.
No, he's not, unless Russ gets injured. But I don't think he's playing more than 51% of the snaps.
And then I also thought the Jets had a good offseason.
Building up the O-line around A-Rod, because they just did not want a repeat of what happened last year. I like that.
I mean, yeah, you go and get probably one of the best offensive linemen in the game, Tyron Smith.
Tyron Smith, yep.
And then you also go and get
Morgan Moses.
Yeah, Moses can play. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of. I mean, they're tanking money. They don't care.
No, they don't.
They know they're in it for 2 more years until Aaron Rodgers calls it.
Yeah,
but
and then they're just gonna be awful.
Hopefully they draft. Like I'd really want to see them draft somebody this year.
Yeah, but they also got Mike Williams too.
Yeah, that was the guy I'm missing.
Yeah.
Mike Williams. You got what? Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, and you got
Who's the
I mean, Lazard sucks, but he's great with
Lazard.
He's great with Rodgers.
Yeah, anyone's great. I could be great with Rodgers. Yeah,
I've seen you catch,
dude. Yeah, you've seen me catch, bro. That's what I'm saying. Rodgers can hit me.
And then
Deep fade.
couple of teams I thought had a bad offseason. I just wanted to run through quick. I thought the Dallas Cowboys just shows why you shouldn't keep paying your trash quarterback.
Everyone says like Dak Prescott this, Dak Prescott that.
He hasn't done anything.
And nothing.
How many playoff wins does he have?
I think maybe 1, 0. I don't even know.
Not a lot. Not of anything of worth. You know what I mean? They lost like 3 of their best players. Not actually, but they lost Smith.
Dak Prescott has won twice in the playoffs in his career.
Yeah.
So he's never made it to it. He's never even made it. He's never seen an NFC championship.
No. And then the Jaguars, they're just spending money to spend money.
So I don't like what the Jaguars
I don't
do
know.
at all.
I never know what the Jaguars are doing.
Gabe Davis, Mac Jones, like those are the guys you went out and got.
I mean, Mac Jones, it's a 6th-round pick.
Yeah, I get
like,
that.
At least you brought back Josh Allen.
And then it's
Josh
like
Allen.
a backup quarterback. I get that. But Gabe Davis is really the guy you're like, yeah, I want him.
I want Gabe Davis. And I want Calvin Ridley, too. I just want 4 mediocre wide receivers. That's what they were really going for. I mean, they didn't get Calvin Ridley, but...
No, he went to the Titans, which is also a little...
I mean, the Ezra Davis, I guess, or Ezra Cleveland, Mitch Morris, I guess you could say those 2 are wins because their offensive line is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Armstead is a good player, but, I mean, you're just basically gathering a bunch of mid-tier wide receivers.
I'm not a Gabe Davis fan. I never was. I never will be. Unless he absolutely turns up on the Jaguars. He's, I think, arguably the most inconsistent player I've ever seen play the wide receiver role. I mean, this guy will either have 3 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, or he's going to have 1 reception for 3 yards and that's it. Like there's no in between.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I'd never draft Gabe Davis in fantasy.
Oh my God, never. Most I'll do is pick him up on an off week.
I won't even do that.
That's the most, and I'll drop him the next week. That's the most I'll do, just to fill up a roster spot. Because
I'd rather take give me a backup tight end. At least I'll know I'll be disappointed.
Yeah, I get that.
And then, did you have any other teams worth noting? I thought the New York Giants also had a offseason that left so much more to be desired.
Yeah.
Another team that just shows you pay your trash quarterback, you'll have a trash team. And that's just how it goes.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is not worth the bag they paid. Not even remotely close.
I like Drew Lock. I like Singletary.
I don't love Drew Lock. I do like Singletary.
I like it for the spot he's in, a backup quarterback who could push the starter. But
I think the best acquisition they got was Brian Burns.
Oh, that trade was a steal. That's the only reason I can't say their offseason was useless or disappointing completely. But
because that guy,
you also paid the guy $30 million a year, so now you got $70 million between Daniel Jones and Brian Burns. I'd rather just give Brian Burns $70 million.
Yeah, absolutely.
At that point.
I'm
at least
not
you're
paying
getting
Daniel Jones a dime. He's not getting a dime from me. I don't like that. But then again, I'm not a Giants fan, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, and then last team I'm gonna mention, you can mention any others, is the Chargers.
Oh my God.
I mean,
oh my God.
At least you just know you're hitting the reset.
Yeah.
I actually,
absolutely.
the only part of the actual offseason that I didn't think was horrible was the fact that they're going to Smash Mouth John Harbaugh football.
Mm-hmm.
Is it John, right?
I always get it mixed up. It's one of the two. It's a Harbaugh or whatever it is. But
you're transitioning that. I mean, Gus Edwards, he's the most annoying player I've ever seen.
Why is that?
Just coming from a fantasy player's perspective.
Well, yeah.
3 rushes for 3 touchdowns, and he puts up 20 points on you.
Yeah, but
it's the hard reset button.
They lose Eckler. Keenan Allen's gone. Mike Williams is gone. But I feel bad for Justin Herbert. I am a Herbert fan. I love Justin Herbert.
They're just going to run the ball.
I think so. Gus Edwards is going to get 1,000 carries this season.
But the thing is, anything's better than Brandon Staley. Anything.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
He can coach the defense, but him as a head coach is horrendous.
Yeah. But here's the thing. So like the last piece of offense that you have is really Justin Herbert. Do you get rid of him or do you keep him?
No, you keep him. He's a generational guy.
I think so too. I think
maybe not generational, but he's actually what I'd call elite. Like a top 5 year to year.
Mm-hmm.
He's an elite
consistent.
quarterback.
He's consistent. I like him. I like the way he plays. He's got a hell of an arm too. And I think his IQ is there. I think he looks great with Keenan Allen and
he knows how
else.
to play football.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I've seen so many mock drafts. I've seen them taking wide receivers.
I don't think they take one.
I don't think they take one either, but I think they almost look at Brock Bowers too, maybe as the tight end.
I see that later.
I could definitely see that happening because they have a big hole there now.
Yeah, I see them taking offensive line.
Oh yeah, that too.
Wide receiver or tight end, and I think trade down's very likely.
Mm-hmm. Is Khalil Mack still there?
Yes, they got Khalil Mack and Bosa back.
That's right. I saw that they had like 4 of the 5 top like salary cap hits or whatever it was. Like they were just a ton of money invested in those, like Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Bosa, and Mack. Just a ton of money invested in these guys.
Okay, you got any more teams you want to mention before we go to break?
No, I think I'm all good for now.
Okay, this is 98.5 WNUW Champ Talk. We're going to go to break real quick. Thank you for listening. And we're back. This is 98.5 WNUW LP Aston with Champ Talk with Brennan and Renzo. Renzo, you ready for our next topic?
Of course, always.
Top 5, bottom 5, favorite signings. This could be teams, players, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm more on the player side. You're more on the team side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we'll go with it.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. You start us off. Give me a player. Give me a player.
We kind of already mentioned this and we talked about it. Okay. But I just want to say this first off.
Yep.
Because I think this is the steal of free agency.
Really?
And I'm not even a fan of his.
Okay.
Who do you think? Marquise Brown.
Yeah.
1 year, $7 million, going to the reigning champs. I honestly think he's undervalued as a wide receiver, and I think he can play. I think he got a bad rep in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of came back with playing carousel quarterbacks with the Arizona Cardinals, and now he's with a surefire Hall of Famer, one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
If I'm Marquise Brown right now, I am like through the roof ecstatic.
Oh yeah.
I mean Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, the whole team just coming off a Super Bowl. I mean, you really going from the Arizona Cardinals to the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not sure there's a bigger step up anywhere. I mean, I'm ecstatic.
Maybe if he came from Carolina.
Yeah,
that's
maybe.
About
okay, that's about it. But I mean, I am so happy if I'm Marquise Brown.
I mean, I love that signing.
Yeah, no,
I think it makes sense for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a win on both sides.
That was the first guy I want to mention. Second guy, go straight to this. I don't know if I like this signing or I don't, but I think I like it, and I think it's one of the best ones of free. I can't decide. Okay. I like it if he plays how he used to play. Derrick Henry, 3 years, 3 years.
I think it is a 3 year.
Oh no, 2 year, 2 year, 2 years 16.
All right. Well, regardless of what it is, I agree with you. If he plays like he used to, which I think he will. I think he's excited. He's on a new team. I think he's excited. He's on a good team. I think he's gonna come out swinging. And
I think with that offense, them with the Ravens, or him with the Ravens, the way the Ravens love to pound their rock, he's got to be a 20 touchdown scorer again this year.
Oh my God, absolutely.
I mean, what is 31 now?
Is he really 31?
Yeah, Derek. He has to be at least 31. Are you checking that?
Yeah, I got it.
Even with him being that old and
yeah, he's 30.
30.
Yeah,
my bad.
30 is crazy. I didn't think he was that old though.
Come on. No, 30. So he's 30.
I mean, that's the king right there.
I know, King Henry.
He's phenomenal. I remember once, I forget what season it was, but he got injured like halfway through, and he was still the rushing yard leader for the next like 5 weeks because he just rushed so many yards.
2 years ago.
Yeah, I think. I mean,
stupid.
Yeah, how do you even do that?
He's the fantasy leader for like 4 more weeks.
Oh my God.
He was averaging like 28, while the rest were averaging like 18.
Yeah.
And by the rest, I mean the next best round. Okay, let's hop over to one of the teams you think you liked.
Teams I liked. This might be a bit of a hot take. I'm not going to lie. We didn't really touch on them yet. Outside of what they... Okay, I'm just going to name the team. Falcons.
The Falcons.
Yeah. Outside of what they paid Kirk Cousins, because they overpaid Kirk Cousins like crazy, I still think they have because okay,
Trash.
Kirk Cousins.
Trash.
You think so?
Nah. Maybe. Kirk Cousins' contract's horrendous.
Yeah,
I just gotta say
I agree
that,
with you
but
there. I agree with you there 100%. I think they paid him way too much money for such a mid quarterback.
The part I'll give to them is at least you're not paying. I mean, Kirk Cousins is one of the most frustrating guys to watch ever.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you're not paying a guy who's I mean, he was playing at a high level last year, but at least you're not going out there and paying a guy who might do good.
Yeah.
Like, you're at least getting a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
Probably not up near that 1 to 5 range. But you're getting a top 10 guy.
Yeah, and I think with Drake London still being there, he's a baller. He just hasn't had a good quarterback. Kyle Pitts, the same thing. He hasn't been getting targets. They have a new coach. They know that they have these weapons. They also just brought in Darnell Mooney and Rondale Moore.
I like Rondale Moore.
I like him too. They're both I think they're both solid wide receiver twos to follow behind Drake London, plus having Kyle Pitts there, plus having Bijan Robinson in the backfield,
and,
plus having a decent O-line.
Who's their other running back?
Cordell Patterson or the other one?
The other one. Why am I blanking on his name?
I forget it too.
Anyways, they got a loaded roster.
I know, and I like what they did. I like what they did.
And if we're going off-season total, I love their coaching hires were great.
Oh, Algier.
Yeah, Algier. He can play.
Good. Yeah, he's pretty good too.
Along with that, I mean, they brought in a real coach.
Mm-hmm. That was the biggest thing.
They're going to use their real players
the biggest
this
thing,
year.
and I think they know that Bijan has to be used. I think they know Drake London and Kyle Pitts. They have to be used if we want to win games. Those are your best players on the team. Oh
yeah.
I mean, I don't think they did much on defense though. That's what I was thinking about. I don't think they did too much on defense.
No, but the thing about I don't think their defense was that bad.
No, it wasn't.
I think they brought back, I
think it's a very mid defense. I don't think it's that great.
I don't think
it's
they
that
lost
bad either.
too much. I think they'll invest in the first round in the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Probably pretty heavily in the draft, especially you pretty much got your whole offense locked down for 3 years.
Yeah.
So absolutely. I think they'll invest in the D. I mean, they're a team to look out for this year in a weak division. I mean, you got to beat the Bucks, the Saints, and the Panthers.
Yeah, the Bucks is probably your hardest team there, or maybe the Saints too. Maybe on a good day.
Either way, they're both sub 500 teams.
Yeah.
Maybe the Bucks aren't. Maybe the Bucks are 9-8.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
I mean, the Falcons also have the 8th pick.
Yeah.
Which is that's pretty high. That's pretty high.
Really.
No, I like that. I like what they did. I like bringing in Kirk Cousins, even though they paid him way too much money. I like the wide receivers they brought in. But yeah, I think they're going to be a team to watch out for next year.
Yeah. Okay, let's segue over to another team that you thought maybe was we'll segue to the other side. We'll say one of your least favorite signings or teams and their signings of the year.
Well, I'm actually going to talk about a team who just didn't really do much, I feel, in the offseason. I think it's a team that needed to do stuff was the Saints.
Yes.
I think they needed to do more. I don't think they did. I know they're like dead last in salary cap. I know they're like, what is it, in debt, like $80 million or whatever it is, or whatever. Like, I know they don't have much money to work with.
Yeah.
But, I mean, come on. Like, how, like, you're in a weak division like we were just talking about, and you just can't, like, you don't do anything. You re-sign Tyrann Mathieu. Like, that's really that's like their most significant signing, I feel like. And they just keep, I don't know. I don't really feel like they had a very strong offseason.
No.
And it's an offseason they needed to be strong with, is my point.
No, bringing back Davis and Mathieu, I mean, they both can play. They're both going to be solid.
Yeah.
Your team's mostly intact. I mean, you lost Michael Thomas, but you still got, I'm blanking on his name. The wide receiver. Oh my God, I love the guy too. Olave.
I love Olave.
You still got Olave. You still got Kamara. You still got your main guys on offense.
Who's their quarterback? Derek Carr?
You still got Derek Carr. Yay.
I don't like Derek Carr at all. There's nothing about that guy that I like. He's always wearing eyeshadow. I love Alvin Kamara, and I love Olave. I think they both need to get out of there.
But
isn't Kamara being like one of the highest paid annually, too?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think he's up there.
He's in the top 10 minimum.
I think so.
I mean, he deserves it.
No, absolutely.
But,
he's so sick.
Yeah.
So sick.
I mean, they have 7.2 left in cap space. So,
yeah.
I mean, they didn't rework any guys' contracts, really.
Mm-hmm. They lost. I'm talking about the wrong team. Sorry.
I think that team's just not very, like, they're, at this point, they're turning more into, like, a poverty franchise than anything. I mean, they got Cedric Wilson, I guess.
After Drew Brees, they just really tanked.
Oh, they got Chase Young, though. I forgot about Chase Young.
Oh, yeah, I did forget about him,
I think
too.
that's a good signing. Chase Young's one of those guys where he's just been dragged through the mud. I thought he was a good player.
I thought he was, too.
Was I not watching the same game?
No, I thought he was, too. He was on Commanders, Niners, and now he's obviously with the Saints. But, I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
I think he's good. I think he's talented. I think he's one of the better linemen. Or is he an edge or a lineman?
he's a DN.
D-end?
Yeah.
I think he's up there in the D-end conversation, and I feel like he just hasn't really been used like that. I don't know. I don't really know,
agree.
but maybe
yeah,
he'll do
they
more on the
haven't done
Saints.
much. They brought in Nathan Peterman.
The quarterback?
Yeah.
Is that who I'm talking about? The quarterback?
I don't know how he's still in the league, but okay, let's move on. I want to talk about this. What do you think about the Gabe Davis signing? 3 years, $39 million. And we'll talk about the Mooney signing at the same time.
Yeah.
3 years, $39 million.
I mean, 3 years for $39 million for what Gabe Davis has been doing.
Mooney and Davis.
Yeah. I don't know if I like Mooney better than Davis. I think Mooney is slightly more consistent. I know we were talking about this before, Gabe Davis being extremely inconsistent. But, I mean, you're making $13 million a year, like, for what? And
Yeah.
especially when you compare it to some, like, good running backs who are making $13 million a year.
Oh, yeah, running backs just dragged.
Yeah. It's like, how can you even compare? I don't understand.
I think the biggest part with that is, I mean, at least Mooney had a crap quarterback.
Yeah.
Gabe Davis had a good. I mean, Gabe Davis did put up better numbers. I mean, it's not the worst with what wide receivers are being paid anymore. I can't stand Gabe Davis. I just
either.
don't think. I don't think he really shows anything except deep ball presence and can run over the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm. And then,
But
especially because it's like 3 years, 13 or 39 million, 13 a year.
yeah,
We just Philly just signed Saquon to 12.3 million a year.
yeah,
Like
I'd rather
Darnell
have
Mooney
Saquon.
and Gabe Davis are making more money than Saquon Barkley.
I'd rather have Saquon run out of the slot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I
don't,
know both of them aren't slot receivers. I know
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah, no, I understand that. I'm on the same exact page. I don't think Gabe Davis and Darnell Mooney, I think they're getting overpaid. I think the whole wide receiver, I think all wide receivers, maybe not overpaid, but I think they're just making a lot more money than they should, or the running backs aren't making enough.
yeah, I agree. And then let's touch on one more team. You pick either your favorite or least favorite team of the free agency. I mean, I know we already talked about a couple of your
Yeah,
favorites,
we were talking about most of my favorites, honestly. So I'll just go with the last one that we haven't talked about yet. I'm going to go with the Bengals. I kind of like what the Bengals did. I mean, Zach Moss is a little underrated. I'm not sure how confident I am on him, but I mean, signing Zach Moss I think was good, especially after getting rid of Joe Mixon. They filled that tight end spot at Mike Gesicki. They added the safety, Geno Stone. The only thing is, T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd are big question marks right now. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that I don't love. That's why I have them in like the honorable mention spot of top 5 of best off seasons. But I mean, Bengals, I think they did well. They still have Jamar Chase there, who is honest to God my favorite receiver in the league. I love Jamar Chase.
Yeah, he's a great player.
Yeah, and plus you have Joe Burrow back there. That LSU connection is still there and alive. So if they could just kind of work out the whole wide receiver 2 situation with T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd or whoever else it may be, I think they're looking very, very good because Zach Moss, and they filled that tight end spot with Gesicki, which I also love. I mean, I think they're going to do great.
Either way, you weren't using Mixon, right? So
No,
you might as well get
absolutely
something
not.
for him.
Exactly.
And Zach Moss, I love the Zach Moss signing. I
Yeah.
thought it was a great signing.
Yeah, I
he
do too.
showed. I mean, he hasn't showed throughout his whole career that he was the best running back. But last year, man, he showed what he was picked for.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
balled out last year, and I loved watching him play. I mean, I had him in fantasy, and I didn't root more for a guy all year.
Yeah, his fantasy stock went crazy last year, but
And-
he's signed a 2-year for $8 million. He's making $4 million a year.
nothing.
Yeah,
And watching him live, I know it's running backs; they don't get paid anything.
No, they
But
don't.
watching him live, like he's one of the guys. Like when you watch live, he can play. You're
Oh,
like
my
he
God,
can
yeah.
play. He finds the holes and he hits them. And he got some breakout speed that I didn't realize.
yeah, neither did I. And he kind of came out of nowhere too,
Yeah,
and I love it. He came out of nowhere and he just started balling right off the bat.
came off of Bill's practice or Bill's jumping around the squads, and then came from a team before that got traded to somewhere else, and I think he's done a great job.
He's only 26 years old.
I think we do an injustice not talking about this. It slipped my mind. Keenan Allen for a fourth-round pick to the Bears. I mean, we talked about the Bears earlier a bit, but how do we not talk about this
we
trade?
talked about Keenan Allen, but not too in depth.
We got a fourth.
Yeah.
I know he's 18 mil cap hit a year, but a fourth? Dude, I'm pissed at the Patriots. I mean, I'll show my bias right now. How do you not go get Keenan Allen?
Yeah, for a fourth rounder is nuts.
The guy's a stud.
No, he is so good, and he's been consistently good. Outside of his injuries, he's been consistently a stud.
Amazing.
Stud.
And you can't ask for a guy better than Keenan Allen at third downs and being the perfect guy for a rookie quarterback. You want to talk about a guy who's going to bail out a rookie quarterback and make life easy for them? That's Keenan Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on the Keenan Allen bandwagon for so long now.
Yeah, I've been on it for a little while. And his route running is amazing. I love watching him run routes. And his hands. He catches everything. Thrown at him. Everything.
I mean, I don't know how if you're the Titans, the Commanders, like the Patriots, any of those teams with 30+ million in cap space, how you're not throwing picks at them. I saw a report that said a fourth was too much.
Too much?
Eat the contract, man.
Are you kidding me?
Nah. The Patriots said, apparently, a report came out, the Patriots said it was too much. A fourth-round pick with his salary.
Yeah, it's the Patriots, dude. I know you're a Pats fan.
I don't actually hate their offseason. I'll say that. I think they did a good job of just plugging what they needed to, setting up for a future quarterback. I think they're going to take one of the quarterbacks at 3.
Who do you think they're going to take?
I hope Daniels.
You like Jaden Daniels? I like him, too.
I think he's good.
How do you feel
he needs some years to set. He needs some years to set.
How do you feel about J.J. McCarthy?
McCarthy, I think he's Mac Jones.
You think so?
Yeah.
People are saying he's so NFL ready. He's like the guy outside of Caleb Williams.
Because he's like 30.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, he's just coming off the national championship, which is cool and all. But
he's another guy who I think needs 2 to 3 years to set.
I think most of them do.
The arm talent's decent, but it's not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna take another break. Welcome back to Champ Talk. Renzo is currently scarfing down a Wawa breakfast hoagie.
I don't have time to eat, bro. Give me a break.
We came straight from a 6 a.m. practice, 6-8 in 27 degree weather.
Yep.
Froze our butts off and
couldn't feel my hands.
Ran home, showered.
Yep.
And ran right back here. So
yeah. What I do for Champ Talk, man. What I do for Champ Talk.
Okay, this is our last segment. We want to talk about the fantasy football winners and losers of free agency. Probably my favorite section we're going to talk about. I love fantasy
football.
I love it.
I love it so much.
We got to do next week. Probably more fantasy football.
Yeah, it makes me so mad, but I love
obsessed.
it.
I'm obsessed.
I feel like a GM doing it. It's just so fun. I'm making trades and.
I'm like, I could do this. I could be a GM in real life.
I love it.
And then I see what guys do, and I'm like, maybe I could be. I mean, I see some of the.
Keenan Allen for a 4th rounder? Are you kidding me? I could do that.
I'd give up my life for that. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, love fantasy. Can't say enough good things about it.
It's one of the best things I think ever created.
It becomes a problem at times.
Mm-hmm.
My screen hours. Have you ever looked at your screen time?
Yeah. No.
After a week of fantasy football?
Mine skyrockets.
After week 1 of fantasy football?
Skyrockets.
Oh, my God.
What do you average on screen time? Because mine goes up about like an hour and a half.
Mine right now is probably 4 to 5 hours.
I think I'm around 3.5 to 4
and it's like YouTube, like
Netflix.
Instagram.
I got Netflix in there.
I'm big Instagram. I just swipe. Instagram Reels, man. Crazy. But, oh, my God. Once fantasy football comes around, that ESPN app, I legitimately put 2 hours on the app one day.
Yeah, that's a little nuts. I mean, it's
I start watching the videos. I start reading the articles, man. I mean that's why I've won a fantasy football league or 2. Yeah. I'll say that.
I've come close. I've never won, but I've come close. But I think I do have to say my most favorite thing to do is just cooking up trades.
Oh yeah.
You've seen some of my trades in our leagues.
They're stupid.
I get them done.
You got Jamar Chase for basically
nothing.
I think you actually stole from the kid.
It's great. I get them done.
Okay, let's get into this section now. The biggest winners and losers of free agency. I think we got to start off with by far the biggest loser.
Let's hear it.
far and away, nobody's a bigger loser than Justin Herbert.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you lose your top 2 targets. Lose your top 3, 4 targets, actually. You lost your whole offense.
Everything's gone. It's just you.
The only good thing is Harbaugh's there.
Mm-hmm. And it's just not enough.
I don't think he's just going to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to draft Herbert this year. That's early to say. I know they can pick up a wide receiver too.
Yeah, but right now we're talking in the present. We're talking in the present. Right now,
I would not draft.
I'm on the same page. I'm drafting a lot other quarterbacks besides Justin Herbert.
Like, he'll probably come in as my quarterback 10 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
Like, somewhere in that range. He's way down there.
Absolutely.
And it's just, he has all the talent in the world, man. But you're gonna run into a scenario where, I mean, Pat Mahomes was not his usual self in fantasy this year until the playoffs. Because his wide receivers just couldn't catch.
Yeah, it's not his fault. It's not
Johnston
fault.
has some of the most brick hands I've ever seen.
He's got feet for hands.
The ball, the ball hits his hands and just bounces off.
Yeah, I get that.
But if we look, I mean, transitioning to another offensive player, Brian Robinson. If we're transitioning from Austin
right?
Eckler.
He's on the Pats, right?
No, Robinson's still on the
Commanders.
He's the younger one.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, he had a good season last year. Finally got into that RB1 role, the first down, second down back, and really took advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But now you bring in Austin Eckler. I see it. Austin Eckler, he's not going to be the 3-down back that he wasn't for the Chargers.
Yeah.
But he'll be the second and third down back.
Mm-hmm.
At least the third down back. So
and he's just so talented still. I mean, how can you not play him? I mean, he's going to get a majority of the snaps.
I mean, he looked like he fell off a little last year.
Yeah, for sure. But his falling off is still better than most.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. But Brian Robinson's going to take a huge hit. I have him in my dynasty league, and honestly, I'm looking for some running backs to replace.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lucky that I have 2 other. He's probably my RB 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
And my RBs are trash. I kept saying we should take running backs, and my friend's like, let's just take another wide receiver. So we roll.
I have a running back that I think lost in the offseason. I'm going to say Tony Pollard. I don't love him this year, just because of Tyjae Spears.
Because of Tyjae Spears?
Yeah, because they're both, like, they used him so much last year with Derrick Henry.
But I think the thing is about Derrick Henry versus Pollard is Pollard's that all around guy. And
I get that.
I think I actually had Pollard as a winner of free agency. Yes, because if you look at it, he was so misused by the Cowboys.
Oh,
I mean,
100%.
I've never seen an outside zone runner get ran straight up in between the center and guards.
It's just not not his thing.
I mean,
I love Pollard.
Just tell me you miss Zeke.
Yeah.
Like,
really.
He's not the same running back. I think Mike McCarthy is one of the most overrated coaches in the league.
I'm on the same page.
He's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if he's overrated. I think most people think he's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean...
I don't even think the Cowboy fans like him, honestly. But.
No. I mean, you look at... I think Pollard is primed for a better year than he had last year. I think they don't got a lot of weapons at offense. They gave him a real contract. He's going to get the ball. But, no, I do see him where some people could say he's a loser because of his situation.
I see what you're saying as well, but, I mean, it's really up in the air, I feel like. I feel like there's no certainty there.
Transition a little over to another winner's side. I think the whole Texans offense. Winners.
Yeah, I love that.
Winners.
I love that. Yep,
I mean, you bring in Joe Mixon, clear off winner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go from a team who hates running the ball. They just want to throw every time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I get it. You got Joe Burrow. You got 2 great wide receivers, 2 top 10 easy wide receivers.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Joe Mixon's a very good running back.
Yeah, he's still super talented.
He'll be better this year in fantasy. I think he was like, what, RB
I think
12 range?
Yeah, I think he was in there last year.
He'll be a better running back fantasy-wise.
I think he's top 10
I would
easy.
put money on it.
I think he's top 10 easy.
Yes.
I think that's light.
And then Nico Collins and Tank Dell. You get year 2 of CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
With a better
he really looks like a vet out there.
With a running back who's going to pull some guys in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tank Dell got to come back from that injury, but
you see those new uniforms?
No.
Those are so sick. They got like these sick ass horns on the side, and oh my god, it looks sick.
I've always been a fan of the Texans uniforms.
Yeah, I kind of like them, but
next group of guys I want to talk about is the Bears wide receivers.
Really?
Yes.
DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. Yeah, I can get behind that. I think they're winners if Caleb Williams balls, and I think he will.
I think Caleb Williams not balling still puts more passing passing stats out there than Justin Fields would have. Justin Fields, not a passer. I mean, he's a hybrid at best.
I get that.
He's like a poor man's Lamar Jackson.
Are you going to draft Caleb Williams, though?
Yeah. You already traded Fields. Why? Who else are you drafting?
No, I'm saying in fantasy. Are you going to draft
I draft Caleb Williams?
Where are you going to draft Williams?
Where?
Where are you going to? Whatever.
I love doing the double stack at quarterback. If I wait, lately it's been a little harder because your top guys have separated so far to the top, your top 3, 4. So I could try to get one of those guys. But if I go late and Caleb Williams there in the 8th round, I will take Caleb Williams and then wait 2 rounds and take a guy like Rodgers. I love that. I love doing a stack like that because then you get the young guy who has a ceiling and you got an old guy who got a floor. And
So
you just play it off
if you're
that.
in the 8th round in the draft and you don't have a quarterback yet, you're going to take Caleb?
I mean, if he lasts that long, I don't know if he will.
Yeah, if he
does. I mean, it's tough. It's a rookie, man. How much expectations are you going to put on a rookie?
Yeah,
Maybe he lasts longer than the 8th round. I don't know yet. But I think he's a guy who's definitely he's interesting. Very interesting.
I know. I agree.
The next group of guy, I have a lot of groups this year. I feel like in past years I've had single players. Atlanta playmakers.
Okay.
New coach, quarterback.
Quarterback who loves throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get behind that with Drake London and Kyle Pitts. Are you going to take, because Kyle Pitts has been so, like, he's been so high on everyone's board, and then he's just dropped.
I'd take Kyle Pitts this year.
Yeah, this is the one year where I agree with that.
I'm not taking him with Kels. I think Kels is gonna fall down the board a little, but like I'm not taking him with Kels, Andrews. I think he's more around, not with Kill either. I think he's more around that next tier of guys.
Which is, who do you think? Like Hawkinson? No, Hawkinson's up
Hawkinson's hurt. He's hurt anyways. He'd be my tight end 1.
Yeah,
but he'd probably be in that next tier of guys, which I'm blanking on, but.
Komet, maybe?
Yeah, he'd be in that Komet tier. I think he'd be better than Komet. He'd be right above Komet.
I could see that.
Which I think it lands him about the tight end 5-6. I haven't done my tight end research enough yet.
Tight ends are hard.
But he's a guy who's definitely interesting, especially with a good quarterback, because he's basically a glorified wide receiver.
And where do you think Laporta's going to land? Like on tight end.
Oh my God, I forgot about Laporta.
He's so
top
good.
3.
Yeah, he's gotta.
It's
got to be like what, Hawkinson, Laporta, Kelsey.
Well, Hawkinson's hurt. He's out for the year.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about. Yeah, I keep forgetting he's out for the year.
It's gonna be. I think I could see Laporta being tight end 1.
Yeah. Oh my God, 100%. I could totally see that.
Maybe not take like if you can get him for anything less than a tight end 1, take him. Take him right away.
Yeah, I think he's phenomenal.
They love using the tight ends, and Dan Campbell's not going away from that.
Oh my God. Especially because of the success they've had last year with Laporta, there's no way they're going to be straying away from that.
Okay, so give me a fantasy football loser. One of your guys.
Loser?
Yeah.
Let me see here. We talked about Justin Herbert. I'm not taking him. I don't know how I feel about Jordan Addison this year.
That's one of the guys I had on my list.
I'm not sure how I feel.
I had Justin Jefferson with a question mark, and then I had Jordan Addison, Ty Chandler.
I just don't think, like, how much production are these guys really going to be getting with a potentially rookie quarterback?
Or Sam Darnold. Like, I know we just talked about Sam Darnold before, but, like, how good is he really going to be? I think Sam Darnold will keep guys relevant, but Jordan Addison was a 15 to 20 point per game guy when he had Kirk Cousins.
He was good.
So
he was great.
I don't think you see that. I think you keep Justin Jefferson in the same exact spot. He's quarterback. He's quarterback proof.
You think so? You think you could, like, because he was going like number 1 overall, if not number 2.
He's still my number 1. Maybe McCaffrey first, but he's my 1 and 2.
Yeah,
with
those 2 were interchangeable last year at the 1 and the 2. I'm not sure how much. I don't know if I'm still taking Jefferson at the 1. I think you're right how he's quarterback proof, but I feel like
he's my top 2.
Like I look at Tyreek Hill. Like,
no.
You think Tyreek Hill is below Jefferson?
Yes.
Really?
Easily.
Why is that?
Because Tua sucks.
I do think Tua sucks, but Tua sucks, and Tyreek Hill is still putting up those numbers.
I love Tyreek Hill. They've lost a lot of guys, a lot of O linemen.
Yeah, no, they did lose a ton.
So it'll be tough. I think maybe it's hard to repeat that season he just had. I don't think he's going to.
Too.
He's insanely talented with an insanely talented head coach, offensive head coach. But
I don't think Tyreek Hill's going to be number 1 again. who was the number one? Tyreek?
It was Tyreek.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be number one again.
At least points per game wise.
Yeah, but I do think he's going to be lowest, like top 6, 5, like lowest.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way he makes it past the first round in like a traditional 10, 12 man, you know?
It's honestly, like, I don't see any other top 4 than Jefferson, McCaffrey, Hill, Chase.
Yeah. And Chase, even though he had such an inconsistent year last year.
Well, Burrow's hurt.
Yeah, Burrow hurt. That's what I mean.
Start.
That's what I mean. I get it. Like, he was either like some games he dropped like 50 or he dropped like 1.7. I'm like, dude.
That's the type of guy.
Like, yeah, I don't get it.
Know.
And I love Jamar Chase, but like I just never understood that. But I mean, hey, I still love the guy. He's still a phenomenal talent. So I think we're still going to see a lot of production out of him.
Currently at the moment, I think Broncos offensive players are borderline undraftable.
Really?
And I think Dallas offensive players are nearing that not nearing that conversation because I'm taking CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb is still right there.
But I think there's going to be a very big step back.
Who's their tight end? Ferguson?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about him. I kind of like him.
They don't have a running back.
Yeah, they really don't, right?
Dowdle?
Yeah, I saw that.
He's trash.
That's it. They have to draft one.
Yeah, they'll draft one. But I don't know. That whole Dallas offense is throwing me off.
Outside of CeeDee Lamb, I don't
know how much I want a guy. I think Ferguson will be a good plug and play. Like if you get him as your tight end 2. I mean, I don't take tight end 2s in drafts.
No, I don't either.
But if you can get him as a tight end 2, I don't think it's horrible.
No, it's not a bad idea. You know who I love though on the running back end? I kind of love Josh Jacobs.
I had Josh Jacobs too.
I kind of love Josh Jacobs.
And then can we ship in Saquon Barkley there with him?
Absolutely.
I think they're both huge winners of free agency, and I think it's for the same reason. More opportunities.
Oh, okay.
More goal line touches, or maybe not goal line touches for Saquon because Hurts loves stealing those.
Yeah.
But you get 2 guys on subpar offenses, and you're moving them up to 2. I think Green Bay is going to be very good offense this year.
I love them. They're so underrated.
And then the Eagles offense. You're pulling 2 guys who really didn't have that much. They didn't have that many like great drives, or especially the Giants throughout that year.
Yeah, the Giants are just pathetic.
Saquon willed his way to get whatever he got for fantasy. And this year it'll come so much easier to them. I've heard they might do like a 2 running back system there.
At Philly?
Yeah. Because why would you pay a guy and then use him?
Yeah.
But I think they're both huge winners. What are you saying about them?
Yeah, because, I mean, Saquon's going to one of the worst O-lines to one of the best O-lines. I mean, that in itself is just the production he had with one of the worst O-lines moving to one of the best O-lines and just an overall offense, an overall better offense. I mean, how can he be a loser? He was averaging, I think, like, he was averaging, like, what, 15 points a game on the Giants? Like, how do you even do that? Like, on the Giants, a terrible offense, a terrible offensive line, and you're still pulling off 15 points. Imagine what he's going to do with the Eagles. And the same thing with Josh Jacobs. I liked him on the Raiders, but I like him a lot more on the Packers.
The Packers have one of the best run schemes. I think Aaron Jones is the only reason to kind of worry about him there. Not Aaron Jones.
A.J. Dillon.
A.J. Dillon.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah. A.J. Dillon's the only reason to worry. But at the same time, I truly believe that both of them can play. And I think Josh Jacobs will get much more of the workload because if you pay a guy, you're going to use him.
Yeah.
Going back to Saquon real quick, just to make a point, he averaged 3.9 yards per carry last year.
So, yeah, basically 4 yards a carry.
Not even 4. Well below league average. Yeah. And he finished with averaging about 15 points per game in fantasy. We'll say. I don't have the exact number up, but he had a good set. He had a decent year. Like, I had him. Bit inconsistent, but, he had games. He'll easily go to 5 yards per carry.
Oh, 100%.
Easily.
100%. There's no way you don't.
The amount of splash, he's easily going to double his. He's going to go from 6 touchdowns last year to.
I'm going to say at least 10.
I think he had 10 touchdowns last year.
Oh, he had 10 last year?
Receiving and running.
Oh, okay.
Rushing and receiving. I think he'll go. He could be a 20 guy. So
if
easily.
not 20, like high teens, 18,
I mean,
19.
the Eagles are primed to succeed. We'll just see if they do.
Yeah, exactly.
And then honestly, I can't. They got to figure their thing out. I think losing their offensive coordinator. What's his name again?
I always get the names mixed up.
The Colts' current head coach.
Yeah, it's.
He was amazing. I think he fueled that offense.
I loved him.
And their guy
Shane Steichen.
Amazing amazing coach. Yeah. I think he's doing great things with the Colts. I think getting rid of that offensive coordinator the Eagles have, they'll be much better
Brian
this
Johnson,
year.
I think it was.
He's horrible. He was horrible.
Yeah, he just wasn't good.
I didn't get what he was calling. I'm not gonna say I'm the best football knowledge guy out there, but the thing is, I know enough about football to know when the offense isn't working how it should be.
Mm-hmm. There's one guy I do want to touch on though before we end.
Yeah.
Kyron Williams.
I
love Kyron Williams. He came out of nowhere too last year.
First round pick.
Oh my God, absolutely.
He is a great runner.
I know. He's so good. He's so good.
I like watching guys, watching how they're running. And he's one of the guys, when he runs the football, he finds the holes so quickly and hits it every time.
I know. He's also just in a good offense. You got Stafford there. You got Puka. You got Kupp, who had a little bit of a fall-off year, but like he's still there. And then Kyron, just to lead that backfield, I think is just so good. I love Kyron Williams.
He'll easily be a first-round pick for me this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He might be like a Pollard type situation where you're kind of nervous about him being your first-round pick, but the upside's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just look at his stats from last year. The guy could play.
Mm-hmm.
He was a baller.
Absolutely. I'm taking him all day. I
love what he does and how he does it, how he runs. He's just one of those guys that I want on my team, and I love how he runs the football. I can't say that enough. He's up there with Pacheco. I love watching him play.
Yeah, I'm up there too.
And when you can actually watch your fantasy players play,
mm-hmm. and then like they actually score touchdowns and actually know how to play football, that is the most satisfying thing in the world. The most satisfying thing.
Is there any big names you want to touch on real quick?
Derrick Henry.
I mean, we kind of talked about him already, but
did we in fantasy?
No, but I think his fantasy production will go up.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, how can it not?
He'll be a good player this year. I mean, it's hard. So he always did good with Tennessee, but I think he'll have another good year. I really want to touch on Pickens and Freiermuth.
That's an interesting situation.
I mean, Pickens got all the talent in the world.
Yeah, he's so good.
He's so weird. So weird. But he's a very good player.
How do you think he's going to do with Russ?
Russ, his stat line, I don't know how you cut him. You're taking a $40 million cap hit for what? Jared Stidham?
Yeah.
Come on. And I know. Sometimes it's just about resetting and moving on.
Yeah.
But getting him for 1.2 mil or 1.3, whatever the Steelers got him for.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just upgrading all your pass catchers.
Mm-hmm.
I think Calvin Austin will have a good year. I think Pickens, Freiermuth, both will have a good year. I really like Freiermuth as my tight end 8. As one of the later, if you don't go tight end early,
mm-hmm.
he's one of the
he's a safe
mid-rounds guys.
Safe option for sure. I like Freiermuth.
I think he'll be really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll have an opportunity to jump into that top 5 because I think he's really talented. Yeah. And I think Pickens has the same thing where he might be able to go top 20. I mean, if you look at Russell Wilson's stats, he had one of the best touchdown to interception ratio in the league.
And Pickens is also jumping into that wide receiver 1 role now with Deontay Johnson gone.
I think he already was the wide receiver 1.
Yeah, but I think now it's
it's
solidified. Yeah, it's there's nobody else.
Yeah,
but I think
100%.
I think he's a big winner because of that.
I think there was a lot this offseason to really get excited about for fantasy football.
Oh my God, so much! I can't wait for fantasy. I love drafting.
It'll be a fun offseason. It's going to be exciting when we come and do the draft, when we get to there and see what really is going to unfold.
The draft is so exciting. I love the draft.
We'll definitely touch on that upcoming weeks. 9:30.
I could draft all day.
Put in your calendars.
Draft all
ChampTalk. Yeah, I could do 80 mock drafts.
Oh my God, I will not once get bored.
Yeah,
I will do it over and over again. I don't care.
So we're definitely gonna have more stuff coming.
Mm-hmm.
More stuff fantasy related. Definitely more.
Mm-hmm.
We really just wanted to talk NFL free agency first episode.
Because the free agency has just been crazy. So there's no way we couldn't talk about it.
Thank you for all the listeners. We're gonna end that there. For us,
yes, sir.
I'm Brendan Bosky.
I'm Renzo Garone.
This is ChampTalk. Make sure you check us out on Spotify, YouTube, all the different social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok. Yep. This is 98.5 WNUW. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.